Morning everyone, welcome back to the channel, and this is a review video. Many of these you see me sat at this table with this behind me. I won't try and get too technical and get bogged down into too much detail because I know I can ramble on, so I'm going to keep it to the point as much as I can. I'm doing a bit of a comparison between two everyday carry compact torches which have been sent over the past couple of months, and I've been putting them to some use on camp, so I think I can talk about them and their various different benefits. And the torches are a T1 by ThruNite. I'm going to bring the camera over here in a minute. I'm going to be filming from behind the camera, so you get to see them in a lot more detail. There's a ThruNite T1, and this particular one is in Desert Tan. It's a limited edition colour, and the beam on this one is the cool white. They also do a neutral white version. We're comparing that against the S1R Baton 2 by Olight, which I've had for a while now. Olight were kind enough to send it to me, and you know, I'm free to be honest, and I will be honest, because what's the point in reviewing something if you're going to give a biased review? It's completely pointless. So we'll look at them in a bit more detail. They're both great torches in their own right, and I've got no real problems with either of them. There's a bit of a cost difference which I'll talk through very shortly, but they're both reliable, very well made, high quality, and they've both got rechargeable batteries. There are some differences between them, and we're going to discuss these in a minute, but I hope you like it. I'm trying to stop saying The channel does contain reviews. I know some people don't like that, but if it's not for you, just skip it and wait for another wild camping video. But I've always done product reviews, and I hope they help some people who are thinking about buying bits and bobs, you know, on wild camps. We're going to be using torches, aren't we? Especially at this time of year. And when you're going for night walks, you need a torch, don't you? So you don't want to be shelling out your hard-earned cash for something that's not going to give you some, you know, some good quality and value for money. So let's look at them in a little bit more detail. Okay, so here's the torches side by side, and you can see that the ThruNite is very slightly larger. It's a bit larger in diameter, and it's a bit larger in length as well. We've already done a review on the S1R Baton 2, so let's concentrate on the T1 just for now, and then I'll talk about the differences. But you get a lanyard with it. It's got this nice grippy texture on the body of the torch, which again, if you've got wet hands, it just aids keeping hold of it because you don't want to be dropping your torch. It's got a really powerful LED on and off button on the side, and we've got a charging port which is covered by this rubber cap which just lifts up there to expose the micro USB which plugs in to that. When it's charging, the button lights up red, and when it's fully charged it goes blue. It's pretty powerful, and it's more powerful than the Olight. This one goes up to 1500 lumens, whereas the Olight goes up to 1000 lumens. Now I've written down a couple of notes, but basically as opposed to the Olight, this one is stepless in terms of brightness. So all that means is you can press and hold, so it's at its brightest. It's a triple flash just to let you know it's on its brightest setting, and then press and hold and it will drop all the way down to its lowest and flash 3 times just to let you know it's there. As you can see, there's a slight blue LED under there just to let you know the torch is operating. But yeah, as opposed to the Olight, where it's just got stepped brightness levels, you can just press and hold that and stop it wherever you want. So I do like that feature, and I find that is a better feature than on the Olight, to have the ability to choose what brightness you want. Like the Olight, there's a turbo mode which can be accessed with a simple double click. There we have 1500 lumens. That is extremely bright indeed. I think the throw on that setting is around 335 foot or 102 meters. In terms of weight, this weighs 45 grams. It's nice and light, and it's got a magnetic tail cap, so workshop use. You can attach it to something. It's just handy, and it lets you have hands-free operation of the torch. It's IPX8 waterproof, which means, you know, it's standard 2 meters. It can be submerged, so there's no worries or concerns using the torch in wet weather. It's not going to be damaged by anything. The battery is larger than on the Olight. It's an 1100 milliamp hour battery, which is rechargeable. As I've said, there's the recharging port. You get the USB lead with the torch as well. Turbo mode, the torch will run on that setting for 3 minutes and 52 seconds. It will heat up because it draws a lot of current through the LED and the torch gets warm. Similar to the Olight, you can feel the body of the torch heat up as well. And then it will drop down onto a lower setting just to protect the circuitry in there as well. So on its highest setting, which is 685 lumens, not turbo, its highest setting in normal operation, it will last for around 65 minutes. And on its lowest setting, it will run for around 35 hours at 15 lumens. So that is pretty good. It's also got like, it's called a Firefly mode, which is 0.5 of a lumen, half a lumen, and it will last on that mode for 12 days. That's the Firefly mode. You know, if you're in your tent and it's pitch black, that's ample light to read with, and it's really good. And 12 days, it's going to last you on one charge, so your multi-day trips are no problem whatsoever. Impact resistance, it's rated to drop testing of 1.5 meters, so it's robust. It's really nice in this desert tan colour. It's really well made. And the good thing about this torch is this is selling now. You can get it on Amazon for 40 quid. That's 40 English pounds. Whereas the Olight is a little bit more expensive. The standard version, and this is a limited edition colour in this orange. The standard version's retailing, you can pick it up for around £51.99. This version on the Olight website is coming in around £70 at the moment. So the Olight is a lot more expensive in my view. So comparing and contrasting, well, the T1 is brighter. It's a little bit bigger, so you know, if you're concerned about shaving all the grams and pack size, you might want to look at the Olight. If you're thinking about cost, well, in my humble opinion, the ThruNite is much better value for money, considering you're getting a brighter torch, a bigger battery, whereas the Olight battery is a bit smaller. It's a 550 milliamp hour battery, so you're not going to get as long out of the torch before you need to recharge it. They're both really nice, and at the end of the day, it comes down to personal taste. People are loyal to brands, and you know, Olight make good things. I like the charging system on the Olight better. You know, it's got the magnetic tail cap, and I've got a charger which just clips onto that, so it's less fiddly and nothing's going to break. However, the charging system on the ThruNite, you've got to remove this tab to expose the USB port, and in my opinion, if you're doing that time and time again, that could potentially break off. If that breaks off, you've got nothing to cover the charging port, and it's a point where possibly water could get in onto the torch. I don't know, these are just my observations, thinking out loud. But they're both very bright, really bright. It's all the brightness you need. Even if you're just like dog walking or anything like that, chuck one of those in your jacket pocket and it'll see you through your walk safely. So they're both IPX8 waterproof. They're both drop tested to 1.5 meters. They're both insanely bright. ThruNite wins in terms of brightness, 1500 lumens versus 1000 lumens with the Olight. I like the look of the Olight better, although this isn't a bad looking torch, especially in this desert tan colour. They're both solid, good bits of kit, really bright. Just bear in mind that the colours of the LED are slightly different. I find the Olight to have a sort of more bluish, whiter tinge to it, while the ThruNite, in my opinion, is a little bit more neutral. And I think I've mentioned this is the cool white bulb in it, as opposed to the you know, it's a more neutral light on the Olight. So there you go. That's my opinions between the two torches. I'm not going to go into too much detail. They are pretty much competing. When you look at you know, the products themselves, they're pretty much direct competitors. So £40, £51.99 for the standard version, and £70 for this limited edition orange colour. Better charging on the Olight, less to go wrong. A little bit more fiddly on the ThruNite. Both rugged, both waterproof, both drop tested. It comes down to personal preference and whether you think it's worth the extra for the Olight. Bigger battery, lasts longer, and it's brighter. You make your own mind up. I like them both. I love my gadgets, and it comes in really handy on wild camps. They don't take up much room, and they're great. The other things as well to bear in mind with the Olight, you get this nice carrying pouch with it. You don't get that with the ThruNite at all. All you do is get the torch itself and the charging cable and the lanyard. But to be fair, do you need a carrying pouch for your torch? I don't know. I'd say not, because you're going to chuck it in your bag, but you don't want to scratch the lens, and if it protects the lens from scratches, all better in my opinion. So yeah, they're the pros and cons. Well, there aren't really any cons, to be fair. They're two good torches, they're nice and bright, and they both do a great job. Make your own mind up which you think wins. And just some more details for the ThruNite. You do get a clip. I just haven't put it on. You just clip that onto there, and again it'll go both ways, so you can clip it that way or objects from the other end, because you've got this double clip aspect of it as well. I did touch on the charging port here, thinking that, you know, that could come off in time maybe. In the box you get a spare, so try not to worry about that. ThruNite have got that base covered, so if it does come off, you've got a replacement there, and I'm sure you'll be able to get them online as well, in the event that this one does come off as well. But I don't think it would, because it's really well put together. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this. They're two great torches if you're in the market for an everyday carry torch, something to keep in your top pocket when you go and walk in the dog, or in your coat. You won't go far wrong with either of these. Good bits of kit.